Welcome back to the channel Numisma Hub Coin Lovers. Today we bring you the story of the 2010 Australia Day 50-cent coin, a special piece that celebrates national pride and history. This, almost uncirculated, coin, valued at just $3.46 with $2.59 shipping, is a true collector's gem. With its shining detail and connection to Australia's heritage, it's more than just a coin, it's a symbol of celebration. Stay tuned as we uncover the full history and significance of this remarkable collectible. Top 5 first up. The 2010 Australia Day 50-cent coin holds a special place in modern Australian numismatics because it commemorates the nation's annual day of pride and celebration, Australia Day. Released as part of a program that often highlights cultural events, milestones, and important national symbols, this coin is more than just a piece of circulating currency. It represents the spirit of unity, belonging, and national identity that Australians celebrate every 26th of January. Over the centuries, the day has evolved from a colonial commemoration into a national public holiday that reflects on Australia's history, achievements, and multicultural character. The coin's denomination of 50 cents places it within Australia's decimal system, which was introduced in 1966 when the country transitioned from pounds, shillings, and pence. The shape of the 50-cent piece makes it one of the most recognizable and iconic circulating coins in the nation. Unlike round coins, its angular edges provide a unique tactile and visual experience, ensuring it is easily distinguished from other denominations. On the obverse of the 2010 Australia Day 50-cent coin sits the official portrait of Queen Elizabeth designed by Ian Rand. This portrait, which had been in use on Australian coinage since 1999, presents a mature and regal depiction of the Queen, highlighting her enduring role as Australia's head of state. Surrounding the portrait are the inscriptions Elizabeth II and Australia 2010, along with the denomination 50 cents. The reverse of the coin is where the true commemorative magic lies. The 2010 Australia Day design was created by Wojciech Pietranic, an accomplished coin designer at the Royal Australian Mint. Pietranic's work on this coin showcases a map of Australia stylized with bursts of rays, representing the spirit of celebration. Overlaid are people holding hands, a symbolic expression of unity and inclusiveness, reflecting the multicultural society that modern Australia embodies. The design concept was meant to capture not only the geographic outline of the country, but also the values that Australia Day celebrates: unity, diversity, community, and national pride. The figures joining hands resonate with Australians from all walks of life, reinforcing that the day is not solely about history, but also about the modern, multicultural society that has developed across generations. In terms of mintage, the 2010 Australia Day 50-cent coin was issued primarily for collectors and not for general circulation. This makes it more desirable to numismatists, especially those who build themed collections around commemorative issues. The Royal Australian Mint produced these coins in a variety of finishes, including uncirculated and almost uncirculated with special packaging, highlighting their commemorative nature. Collectors often value the condition of a coin above all else, which is why the 2010 50 cent, in almost uncirculated condition, means the coin is nearly flawless, having minimal marks or signs of wear. This makes it highly attractive to collectors who seek affordable yet quality examples for their collections, striking a balance between rarity and accessibility. The Royal Australian Mint has a long tradition of releasing commemorative 50-cent coins for events like the Commonwealth Games, the Royal Wedding, Federation milestones, and cultural anniversaries. The 2010 Australia Day coin sits within this lineage of national pride pieces. Its release aligned with the broader effort of the Mint to use coins as storytellers, embedding national culture, history, and identity in everyday money. Australia Day as a holiday can be both celebratory and reflective. While many enjoy fireworks, parades, and family gatherings, the day also sparks debate about Indigenous history and the legacy of colonization. By issuing a coin that focuses on themes of unity and inclusiveness, the Mint aimed to highlight positive values while acknowledging that national identity is shared by diverse groups of people. From a market perspective, the 2010 50-cent Australia Day coin is relatively affordable, often priced between $3 to $5 in condition, though prices can fluctuate based on demand and packaging. Collectors who buy these coins often view them as long-term keepsakes rather than immediate investments. However, Coins like these tend to grow in value slowly as they become scarcer in top condition over the decades. The seller listing you referenced, with a price of $3.46 plus $2.59 shipping, reflects the typical secondary market range. While it is not among the most expensive Australian commemorative coins, its symbolic significance and collectible design give it steady appeal. Collectors often pay slightly more if the coin comes with original packaging or certificates of authenticity from the Royal Australian Mint. The composition of the coin follows a standard for Australian 50-cent pieces, 75% copper and 25% nickel. This alloy gives the coin its distinctive silvery appearance and ensures durability, allowing it to withstand circulation, even though this particular issue was more geared toward collectors. The weight of the coin is 15.55 grams, with a diameter of 31.51 millimeters, making it one of the largest coins in modern Australian circulation. For coin enthusiasts, the 2010 Australia Day 50-cent coin serves as a reminder of how numismatics intersects with culture and history. Each coin tells a story, and this one encapsulates Australia's annual celebration of unity. Even though it is not rare in terms of mintage, the coin's emotional and symbolic value continues to resonate with collectors both within Australia and internationally. The coin also represents the broader philosophy of the Royal Australian Mint, to create coins that are not only functional currency, but also national artworks. Coins like this serve as mini time capsules, preserving for future generations the imagery and ideals valued by Australians in 2010. As decades pass, the coin will remain a record of how the nation chose to celebrate its identity during that period. Beyond its collecting and cultural value, coins such as the 2010 50-cent piece often become souvenirs and teaching tools. Teachers, parents, and historians use them to spark conversations about Australia Day, history, national values, and multiculturalism. In this way, the coin's purpose extends far beyond simple currency or collector's item. It becomes a bridge between past and present. While not considered rare in the traditional sense, scarcity can develop over time as collectors secure these coins in albums and long-term holdings. Decades from now, pristine examples in or higher may become harder to find on the open market, leading to gradual increases in value. Thus, owning a piece today is both a connection to culture and a small numismatic investment for the future. Next up, the 50-cent coin of Australia holds an important place in the nation's numismatic history. Since its introduction in 1966, the 50-cent denomination has not only served as a vital piece of circulating currency, but has also been a canvas for commemorating Australia's milestones, culture, and heritage. By 2014, the 50-cent coin had already been widely used to mark national anniversaries, special organizations, and historical events, making each year's issue significant for collectors and historians alike. The obverse of the 2014 50-cent coin features the effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Ian Rank Broadley. This portrait had been introduced in 1998 and was used on Australian coinage until 2018. It is notable for being one of the most lifelike representations of the Queen, showing a more mature image compared to earlier portraits. The inscription reads Elizabeth II Australia 2014, signifying both the reigning monarch and the issuing country. This design connects Australian coinage to the broader Commonwealth tradition, reflecting Australia's constitutional monarchy. The reverse design for the standard 2014 circulation coin carried the Australian Commonwealth coat of arms, a long-standing emblem on the 50-cent piece. The arms feature the iconic kangaroo and emu supporting a shield that displays the symbols of Australia's 6 states. Above the shield sits the 7-pointed Commonwealth star, and surrounding it are sprigs of golden wattle, Australia's national floral emblem. This design not only represents the nation's unity but also its natural heritage, making it one of the most recognizable and distinctly Australian coin designs. In addition to the standard coat of arms issue, 2014 also saw the release of commemorative editions of the 50-cent coin, including the IATSIS, Australian Institute of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Studies, 50th anniversary coin. This was a significant release, as it honored the role of IATSIS in preserving, researching, and celebrating Indigenous culture, languages, and histories. The special commemorative design highlighted Indigenous heritage in a way that had not often been done on circulating coinage, making the 2014 issue highly symbolic and important both socially and numismatically. The Ayatz's 50-cent coin was particularly striking because it combined traditional numismatic art with indigenous cultural symbolism. Its design reflected elements that honored the contributions and resilience of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples, serving as both a circulating piece of money and a public acknowledgement of Australia's oldest living cultures. Collectors often regard this coin as an important milestone in the Royal Australian Mint's tradition of using currency to tell Australia's story. From a minting perspective, the 2014 50-cent coin was produced at the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra, where precision and quality standards ensure that both circulating and commemorative issues would stand the test of time. The coin retained its iconic dodecagonal, 12-sided shape and copper-nickel composition, weighing 15.55 grams with diameter of 31.65 millimeters. This distinctive shape not only makes it instantly recognizable, but also prevents confusion with other circulating coins. For collectors, the 2014 50-cent coins represent both continuity and change. The standard coat of arms issue is part of the long-running series that began in 1969, after the round silver 50-cent coin of 1966 was withdrawn due to rising silver prices. Meanwhile, the commemorative issues from 2014 added depth and meaning to coin collections by highlighting key aspects of Australian history and culture. The coinage of 2014 also reflects a broader tradition in Australian numismatics of using coins as miniature history books. Unlike paper money, which changes less frequently, coins can tell dozens of stories year after year through their designs. The 2014 issues stand as an example of how a functional object like a coin can also serve as a commemorative artifact, carrying both economic and cultural value. Historically, the Queen's portrait on the obverse links 2014 to the broader reign of Elizabeth II, which spanned over 7 decades. Each coin struck with her likeness became part of a wider historical narrative of Australia's modern identity under the Commonwealth. In later years, as new monarchs ascend the throne, coins like the 2014 issue will be valued not only for their design, but also for their place in the timeline of royal effigies on Australian currency. Another interesting aspect of the 2014 50-cent coin is its collectability in different conditions. Circulated examples are common and widely available, but uncirculated and proof versions hold higher numismatic value. The Royal Australian Mint often releases collector editions in sets, making the 2014 coin a popular choice for those building complete collections of Australia's decimal coinage. The inclusion of Indigenous representation through the Ayatz's commemorative coin also marks an important step in Australia's journey toward reconciliation. By featuring Indigenous themes on mainstream currency, the coin became a tool for national recognition and awareness. In this way, the 2014 50-cent piece transcends its monetary role and takes on a deeper symbolic meaning for the Australian public. Collectors and historians often emphasize that coins like the 2014 50-cent are more than just metal objects. They are cultural artifacts. They capture a moment in time, preserve national symbols, and reflect political and social values. As such, they are studied not only by numismatists, but also by historians, sociologists, and cultural scholars who seek to understand how nations present themselves through their money. Economically, the coin remains a standard part of Australian circulation, ensuring that even today, millions of Australians have likely held the 2014 issue in their hands. Yet, for those who look closely, this ordinary piece of change carries within it layers of meaning, from the Queen's image to the coat of arms and the commemorative designs that tell unique stories. In conclusion, the 2014 Australian 50-cent coin featuring Queen Elizabeth II is both a circulating piece of money and a symbol of history. It embodies Australia's ties to the Commonwealth, its pride in national symbols, and its recognition of Indigenous heritage. Whether viewed as a practical object, a collectible, or a cultural artifact, the coin stands as an enduring reminder of how much history can be packed into a small piece of metal. Next up, the Australian 50-cent coin featuring Queen Elizabeth II from the year 2005 is an important piece of modern Australian numismatics, carrying both historical and cultural value. To understand its full background, we must look at its design, production, circulation, and the symbolic meanings attached to it. This coin is part of the ongoing legacy of Australian decimal currency, which was introduced in 1966, replacing the pre-decimal pound system. By 2005, the 50-cent piece had already established itself as one of the most distinctive coins in circulation, largely because of its large dodecagonal, 12-sided shape and the many commemorative issues that had appeared over the years. On the obverse of the 2005 coin, as with all Australian currency of the time, appears the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II. This effigy was designed by Ian Rank Broadley, a British sculptor whose design was adopted on Australian coinage in 1999. His portrait is noted for its realism and mature depiction of the Queen, contrasting earlier effigies that presented her in a more youthful style. Around the portrait are the inscriptions Elizabeth II and Australia 2005, identifying both the monarch and the issuing nation along with the date. This obverse design was used consistently across all denominations during that era, symbolizing Australia's continuing recognition of the Queen as head of state. The reverse side of the standard 2005 50-cent coin displays the Australian coat of arms. This national emblem features a shield divided into 6 sections, each representing a state of Australia: New South Wales, Victoria, Queensland, South Australia, Western Australia, and Tasmania. Flanking the shield are the kangaroo and the emu, iconic Australian animals chosen because neither is known to walk backward, symbolizing progress and forward movement. Above the shield is the 7-pointed Commonwealth star, representing the unity of the 6 states and the territories of the Federation. This design, created by Stuart Devlin, the official goldsmith and jeweler to the Queen, has been the standard reverse for 50-cent coins since 1969. While the standard issue of 2005 featured the coat of arms, it was also a year when Australia produced special commemorative 50-cent coins. One of the most notable was the 2005 Primary School Student Design Coin, released as part of a program to encourage young Australians to learn about currency and national identity. This special issue carried a unique reverse design that stood apart from the usual coat of arms, making it especially memorable for collectors. Additionally, 2005 saw coins minted in both circulation strikes and collectible issues, including proof and uncirculated sets issued by the Royal Australian Mint. From a numismatic perspective, the 2005 50-cent coin is not considered especially rare in its standard circulation form, as millions were produced and entered everyday use. However, the commemorative versions, especially in pristine uncirculated or proof condition, hold particular value for collectors. These coins reflect Australia's tradition of marking significant cultural, educational, or national events with special designs, reinforcing the idea that coinage serves not only as money but also as a record of history. The historical importance of the 2005 coin lies in its role during a period of transition and reaffirmation of national identity. Australia, in the early 2000s, was actively engaging in discussions about its constitutional future, the monarchy, and republicanism. Despite debates, Queen Elizabeth II remained prominently featured on all coins, symbolizing continuity and heritage. The coin thus represents a snapshot of Australia at that time, balancing its British royal ties with its own distinct cultural symbols like the kangaroo, emu, and coat of arms. In conclusion, the 2005 Australian 50-cent coin featuring Queen Elizabeth II is a piece that combines tradition, symbolism, and national pride. Its obverse carries the authoritative and familiar portrait of the monarch, while its reverse, whether the standard coat of arms or the special commemorative designs, showcases Australia's values, heritage, and forward-looking identity. For collectors, these coins are more than just pieces of metal. They are historical documents that capture Australia's journey through the 21st century, preserving the memory of its leaders, symbols, and cultural moments. Next up, the Australian 50-cent coin featuring Queen Elizabeth II from the year 2003 holds a unique place in the history of modern Australian coinage. By this time, the 50-cent piece had already become one of the most widely recognized circulating coins in Australia, not only because of its large size and distinctive dodecagonal, 12-sided shape, but also due to its association with national pride, commemorations, and the long reign of Queen Elizabeth II. The 2003 issues reflected both continuity in the standard circulation series and the occasional release of commemorative coins that highlighted Australia's culture, heritage, and major events. The obverse of the 2003 50-cent coin carried the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II by artist Ian Rank Broadley, which had been introduced in Australia in 1999. This design presented a more mature and realistic depiction of the Queen compared to earlier effigies used on Australian coins, such as those designed by Arnold Machin, Raphael Maclauff, and Dora de Pettery Hunt. The Rank Broadley portrait was seen as modern and direct, showing the Queen with her familiar royal tiara, facing right, and surrounded by the inscription, Elizabeth II, Australia 2003. This marked a significant era in Australian coinage as it aligned with broader Commonwealth trends in coin design, reflecting both tradition and modernity. The reverse of the standard 2003 50-cent coin continued to feature the Australian coat of arms, a design first introduced on the dodecagonal coin in 1969 after the original round 50-cent silver coin of 1966 was discontinued. The coat of arms includes a shield bearing the badges of the 6 Australian states, supported by the kangaroo and the emu, 2 iconic animals that represent Australia's unique natural heritage. Above the shield sits the 7-pointed Commonwealth star, symbolizing the 6 states and the territories. This reverse design is one of the most enduring in Australian currency, symbolizing national unity and identity. What makes the 2003 50-cent coin particularly notable is a range of commemorative issues struck that year alongside the regular coat of arms coin. The Royal Australian Mint has a tradition of using the 50-cent piece as a platform for celebrating anniversaries, national achievements, and cultural symbols. In 2003, a major highlight was the release of coins commemorating the Australia Volunteers program, recognizing the essential contributions of volunteers across the nation. Another key issue included coins celebrating aspects of Australia's history, education, and international relations, which became popular among collectors. These special strikes often had limited mintages, making them more desirable in the numismatic market. In terms of specifications, the 2003 Australian 50-cent coin maintained the standard parameters established since 1969. It was struck in copper-nickel, 75% copper, 25% nickel, with a mass of 15.55 grams and a diameter of 31.65 millimeters. The coin's 12-sided design not only made it easy to distinguish by touch and sight, but also became an iconic characteristic of Australian coinage. These physical details remain unchanged through decades, ensuring consistency in circulation, while allowing for changes in artistic design on the obverse and commemorative themes on the reverse. The circulation strikes of the 2003 50-cent coin were produced in significant numbers to meet the everyday demands of commerce in Australia. However, collectors often focus on the uncirculated and proof versions produced by the Royal Australian Mint. These were struck with greater care, featuring sharper details and polished finishes, and were typically sold in presentation sets or released individually to mark special occasions. Such coins have become highly sought after among numismatists and history enthusiasts, as they represent not just currency, but also miniature works of art and records of Australia's evolving story. The 2003 50-cent coin also marked an important moment in the broader timeline of Queen Elizabeth II's coinage in Australia. By this time, the Queen had already reigned for more than 50 years, and her image had appeared on every Australian coin since the introduction of decimal currency in 1966. Each new effigy marked generational changes, and the 2003 coins with the Rank Broadley portrait reflected the monarch's enduring connection with Australia, despite being a constitutional monarchy situated halfway across the world from Britain. Collectors today value the 2003 50-cent coin not only for its role in everyday commerce, but also for its commemorative issues, which capture snapshots of Australian life and history. While the standard circulation coins are widely available and generally hold only their face value, the commemorative pieces and proof strikes can fetch higher prices depending on rarity, condition, and collector demand. For many Australians, these coins serve as tangible connections to national pride, culture, and the long reign of Queen Elizabeth II. In summary, the 2003 Australian 50-cent coin featuring Queen Elizabeth II stands as both a continuation of tradition and a celebration of Australia's unique identity. Its obverse reflects the modern, dignified portrait of the Queen, while its reverse showcases the national coat of arms and commemorative themes that honor milestones in the country's journey. Whether circulating in everyday transactions or preserved in collector's sets, the 2003 issue remains an enduring piece of Australia's numismatic history. Next up, the Australian 50-cent coin of 2004 featuring Queen Elizabeth II is an important piece of the nation's modern numismatic history. This coin represents both the continuity of the decimal currency system, which was introduced in Australia in 1966, and the country's ongoing tradition of commemorating its heritage, institutions, and special occasions on circulating and collectible coinage. By 2004, the 50-cent piece had already become one of the most recognizable and frequently used denominations in Australian currency, not only for its large size and distinctive dodecagonal, 12-sided shape, but also for the many commemorative designs that have been issued over the decades. The obverse of the 2004 50-cent coin continued to display the effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, the constitutional monarch of Australia. By this time, the portrait used was the fourth official effigy, created by Ian Rank Broadley in 1998. This effigy was noted for being a more realistic and mature representation of the Queen, departing from the stylized earlier portraits and presenting her with greater dignity and authority. Around the portrait, the inscription included Elizabeth II and Australia 2004, denoting both the issuing country and the year of minting. The choice to maintain the Queen's image reflected Australia's constitutional monarchy and its continuing ties to the Commonwealth. On the reverse, the standard circulating design featured the Australian coat of arms, as it had since the coin's introduction in 1969, when the 50 cent was first minted in its current 12-sided copper-nickel form. The coat of arms includes a shield displaying the badges of the 6 Australian states, supported by a kangaroo and an emu, 2 animals chosen for their symbolism of progress, as neither can move backward easily. Above the shield is the 7-pointed Commonwealth star, representing the unity of the states and territories under one federation. The reverse design was originally created by Stuart Devlin, who was appointed as a designer for Australia's decimal coinage and is widely regarded as one of the nation's most significant coin artists. In terms of production, 2004 saw the Royal Australian Mint continue its tradition of issuing both circulating and collectible versions of the 50-cent coin. The circulating coins bore the standard coat of arms reverse, but there were also special commemorative releases struck for collectors. For example, 2004 marked several numismatic issues packaged in mint sets, proof sets, and limited edition products that often contained specially finished 50-cent pieces. These collector coins were not just monetary instruments, but also cultural artifacts, valued by both Australian citizens and international coin enthusiasts. The significance of the 2004 50-cent coin also lies in its broader context within Australian coinage. By the early 2000s, the 50-cent coin had become a canvas for celebrating national milestones and anniversaries, from bicentenaries to cultural institutions and international events. Although 2004's standard issue retained a coat of arms, the year is important for collectors because the Mint continued its experimentation with design variations, finishes, and presentation. Many numismatists see coins, like the 2004 50-cent piece, as a snapshot of Australia's monetary and cultural history at the time, balancing tradition with occasional innovation. From a historical perspective, the 2004 50-cent coin illustrates the endurance of the decimal system nearly 4 decades after its introduction. It also shows how the coin remained both practical in circulation and meaningful as a collectible. In circulation, the coin's large size and weight made it useful for larger transactions, but also somewhat cumbersome compared to smaller denominations. Yet it retained a strong presence in daily Australian life, often used in vending machines, banks, and commerce. Collectors, however, valued it as part of complete sets, where even minor changes in minting quality or detail could distinguish ordinary pieces from rare finds. Ultimately, the 2004 Australian 50-cent coin with Queen Elizabeth II is more than just a piece of money. It is a symbol of Australia's heritage, a reflection of its constitutional monarchy, and a continuing chapter in the nation's numismatic story. Whether found in circulation or preserved in a collector's case, the coin connects Australians with their past while serving as a practical instrument of daily life. Its enduring design and the legacy of Queen Elizabeth II's reign ensure that coins like this one will remain relevant to both historians and collectors for generations to come.